What up? I'm Josh Paulison, and welcome to Your Story Now. So our draft vision is going to be that the characters are themselves. So I'm going to start editing this. I'm just going to edit a little bit, and I'm actually going to delete a chunk of this or push it off screen. I'm just going to look at these 3 lines, and I'm going to consider if this works with the characters. Now, I know the characters because I wrote this. It's been a while, but I wrote it. So let's go through this, and I'll talk about my thought process here. So LC lights up. Geraldo is on stage with a big pot of spaghetti resting on a table. And I would say that this feels off already. So rather than him being on stage with a big pot of spaghetti, here's what I would say. I would say perhaps he has cutting boards, and he has tomatoes, and he has veggies, and so he is preparing a sauce. And part of the reason I think this is because this makes a lot more sense overall. Because later on, he ends up saying, do we have more spaghetti? So it makes a lot more sense if he is preparing a dish that ends up using the sauce that he is making now. And I have to say, this is a great line. Could have a sign out. Just say whether or not you have a sign out. I mean, this was budget skit, so I guess it makes sense that I had that. But just say whether or not you do it. You don't have to say you can, I guess. So as you can see here, what I've got are really rough notes. This is not the final way that we would write it. And this is the difference between content editing and copy editing. I just did content editing. I just changed what's actually happening. So he's on stage with cutting boards, tomatoes, veggies, preparing a sauce. And as you can see already, just considering the characters and considering the vision for the story, this is more in line with our goals. We see that he is preparing something, and then we learn that he is trying to make spaghetti. Knowing your story's vision and considering the characters and what would be realistic helps you move on with content editing and start tweaking stuff, and it can start immediately like this. So in the next video, we're going to talk about editing with goals. I'm not going to move super far on the content editing in characters, but I wanted to show you a piece here, and we're going to move on with some other techniques.